Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into the show. Yet another episode of Crushing Fantasy Football. I am Bryce Lockridge, your host of the show. All right, guys, fun fact. Today is my birthday. I turned 34 today. So if you want to leave a happy birthday in the comments, that will absolutely help boost this video up the YouTube algorithm. So that would be huge for me. So if you want to do that, that's awesome. But I'm not going to waste too much else time with that. Today, I'm going to be getting into my 5 must-own running backs for the 2023 fantasy football season. And I'm going to start right here with the first player on my list, and that is Stevenson. Now, this is a guy who last year saw 82 targets out of the backfield. He caught 69 passes and had 421 receiving yards. This dude was absolutely elite as far as pass catching volume and pass catching efficiency. This dude is the new Alvin Kamara. Stevenson is the new Alvin Kamara. This is a guy who combines rushing efficiency with pass catching efficiency. His coach loves him. He's going to be the workhorse in the offense this year. He's not going to have any competition for touches. I see a prime Alvin Kamara-like season coming for Stevenson. This guy had 19 goal line carries this past year and only had 6 touchdowns. So he's due for some inevitable positive touchdown regression. We know that Bill Belichick loves Stevenson. He talks about him all the time, about how much he likes Stevenson overall as a football player and a person. This dude has the coach in his favor. He has the workload coming his way. He has tremendous talent, and there's no way he doesn't eclipse at least 8 touchdowns this year. And if he didn't score double-digit touchdowns, I'd be surprised. This dude is about to have a monster fantasy season, and you can get him in the second round. You don't have to invest a first-round pick to get him. And I have him projected as my number 2 running back on the season. I think that he will finish as the number 2 running back right after Christian McCaffrey. Now, obviously, these things are very hard to predict, but the fact of the matter is, I think that Stevenson has a very, very good chance of finishing as a top 5 running back in the NFL. In fact, I'd be surprised if he didn't. And like I said, you could take him in the second round and take an elite wide receiver in round 1. So awesome spot to draft Stevenson if you're drafting in any part of the second round where he's available. Next player on my list is going to be J.K. Dobbins. Now, this is a guy, 4'3", 740, 5'10", 210 pounds of rock-solid muscle. This dude is a tremendous athlete. We know that speed creates big playability. Now, the biggest thing with the Ravens is Lamar Jackson. Obviously, we've got to keep an eye on, whether he ends up staying with the Ravens or not. He's, the biggest free agent on the market right now. So, if Lamar Jackson leaves the team, the situation's a little bit different. If Lamar Jackson is on the team, I like J.K. Dobbins to have freakish, crazy upside. But if Lamar Jackson leaves the team, I still expect J.K. Dobbins to be very good. This is a running back who averaged 6 yards a carry in his first season. He averaged 5.7 yards a carry last year. He is freakishly efficient due to ridiculous talent. He had a 10.9% breakaway run rate, which, for anybody who doesn't know what a breakaway run is, it's just a run of 15 yards or more. So on 10.9% of his carries this past season, he ran the ball for 15 yards or more. That's absolutely crazy. This dude has some serious talent, and no matter who the quarterback is in Baltimore, I think this dude is absolutely going to pop off. Next player on my list is going to be Travis Etienne. Now, Travis Etienne is going to be an offense that I think is very likely to be a top 5 offense in the NFL this year. We've got a third-year Trevor Lawrence leading the offense. We've got Calvin Ridley. We've got Christian Kirk. We've got an absolutely loaded roster of offensive weapons for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this is a running back who last year, 5.1 yards per carry, 5.7 yards per touch, 45 red zone touches, and somehow only scored 5 touchdowns. This is another player who I think is due for some inevitable positive touchdown regression. So definitely look for Travis Etienne to have more than 5 touchdowns this year, almost certainly. He's building off a season of 1,100 plus rushing yards, and he didn't even start the season as a starter. So now that he's going to start the season as the team's number 1 running back and not be behind James Robinson at the beginning of the season, this dude should put up some crazy numbers. He certainly has the upside to be the running back 1 in all of fantasy. Next player on my list is going to be Isaiah Pacheco. Now, the value for Isaiah Pacheco is absolutely awesome. You can get this guy in the later rounds. In fact, of every running back that I have on this list, he's going later than all of them, and I think he has the potential to be a top 10 running back in fantasy. Now, obviously, Chiefs running backs are a little bit unpredictable just because it's such a creative play-calling offense. And so, when they're in goal-to-goal opportunities and on the 1 and 2 yard line, they're not always going to hand the ball to their running back because they're just as likely to run some sort of trick play or, just pass the ball to Travis Kelce like they do always when they're in the red zone. But the fact of the matter is they haven't had a running back with the talent of Isaiah Pacheco in quite some time. This dude is tremendously talented. a 4.37 40, 5'10", 215 pounds. This dude's a tremendous athlete. He's very hard to tackle. He's a good tackle breaking running back. He's elusive. This dude has the potential to be one of the better running backs in the NFL one day. He has tremendous talent. I don't know how he was a 7th-round pick. I don't know how he was so slept on coming into the NFL, but this dude has elite talent. And what I really like to see in Isaiah Pacheco is his pass catching work started to really elevate as the season went on. He had 6 catches in the AFC Championship versus the Bengals. So, his role in the passing game is starting to increase pretty significantly. So I really like Isaiah Pacheco this coming season. I think that he is potentially a huge league winner, and he is certainly on my list of must-own running backs for the season. Last and final player I have here is Tony Pollard. Now, Tony Pollard, weeks 7 through 16, was the running back 1 in all of fantasy. Now, last year in the offseason, I said, draft Tony Pollard over Ezekiel Elliott. Everybody made fun of me for it. I'm like, okay, just wait. Tony Pollard's going to take over this backfield. That's exactly what happened. 19.3 fantasy points per game in weeks 7 through 16. He was the number 1 running back in all of fantasy in that time. This guy is freakishly efficient, guys. 2021, 5.5 yards per carry. 2022, last year, 5.2 yards per carry and 5.9 yards per touch. This guy is absolutely an efficiency monster, and he never had a game last year where he had more than 20 carries. Off the top of my head, I think he might have had one in that huge game he had against Houston, but I don't think he had any games where he had more than 20 carries last year. So he had all of this freakish fantasy production with minimal opportunity share. Now, this year, he gets to come in and be the team's number 1 running back with really no competition for touches. So look for him to potentially put up even bigger numbers. He had 12 touchdowns last year. I don't see any reason why he's due for any sort of negative touchdown regression. In fact, if he scored more than 12 touchdowns, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever because he's just in such a high-scoring offense, and he's going to get a ridiculous opportunity share this year. We know that he has big playability and that he does not have to be within the 10-yard line to score a touchdown. This dude could get in the end zone at any given time from any part of the field because he has awesome big playability. This is a guy who 8.8% breakaway run, 8.8% breakaway run rate last year. This is tremendous. So on 8.8% of his carries, he was running the ball for 15 yards or more. This is awesome. So we're talking about an awesome running back here who also, if he stays healthy, has the potential to be the running back 1. We're obviously going to have to monitor the recovery from the injury because he does have a broken leg bone, but it's not a torn ACL. He should be 100% to start the season. So look for him to absolutely explode this year. He's going to be a league-winning player. All right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. I'll catch you later.